Not too long ago in the draft process, Liam Greentree was generally viewed as a consensus guy to go in the top 15. But after an underwhelming performance at the Under-18 World Championships in late April and early May, his stock has slipped a bit. Now, that's not to say I expect Greentree to fall out of the first round entirely, but it is looking more and more possible he could get into the 20s. And despite that disappointing showing at the Under-18s, we're still talking about a player who had 90 points in his draft year for an underwhelming Windsor Spitfires club in the OHL. So let's talk a little bit about Liam Greentree's biggest strengths as a player. First, the puck skills. He has legitimately high-end puck skills. He can dangle, he has good passing vision, he has good passing creativity. He's a legitimately exciting offensive player. And it's not just the passing either. He has a legitimately plus shot. It's a heavy slap shot. It's a good wrister. He's a good overall shooting player. And just as important, he takes the puck to high danger areas. He's not just playing on the perimeter the entire time. He's getting to the places where goals are usually scored at the NHL level, and that bodes pretty well for his translatability. We're also talking about a high character player. He's the captain of the Windsor Spitfires, and for large portions of this season, he basically put a bad team on his back. This isn't a draft with a ton of depth in terms of guys who project as potential top of the lineup forwards after the top 13 or 14 picks. But Liam Greentree does have that plausible upside. Okay, you might be asking, then why is he potentially going to slip to the 20s? Well, let's get into his weaknesses, and the big one is the skating. You watch Greentree, and yeah, he has the puck skills. Yeah, he has the offensive zone vision, but he lacks any real dynamic skating gear, and it's a legitimate concern. Some scouts also have questions about Liam Greentree's compete level. Now, a lot of this, I think, stems from the fact that he's a bigger player who doesn't play big. He plays more like a 5'10", 5'11" forward rather than the 6'2" forward that he is. Now, that's not necessarily a negative. If it works for him, it works for him, but a lot of scouts watch a guy like Greentree, and they get frustrated because they think he could be more. They think he could use his size, his physicality better than he actually does, and that leads to some scouts being down on him. Also, we're not talking about a defensive stalwart on the wing. He's not quite a liability defensively, but he has a lot to work on if he wants to be NHL caliber in that area. And then finally, that poor performance at the Under-18 World Championships, it does loom large in the minds of scouts, and it's not just recency bias. That's a tournament against peers that are also going high in this draft, and Greentree just didn't look that good there. That said, it could have just been a bad couple weeks. Yeah, he ended the tournament as the 13th forward for Canada, but maybe he was just on a cold streak. And in a draft where there aren't that many guys with top of the lineup upside past the top 13 or 14 picks, Liam Greentree is a pretty exciting mid to late first round option. The favorable comparison that his biggest defenders cite when talking about Greentree, it's Jason Robertson, who slipped to round 2 in 2017 because of nearly identical concerns about his skating and about his compete level. Ultimately, Robertson improved his skating from legitimately bad to mostly passable. Now he's a 100-point scorer at the NHL level. Now, I'm not saying that Greentree necessarily has that kind of upside. Obviously, Jason Robertson was a steal of a pick, and not every player develops as well as he does. But I am saying that if you think that Greentree's skating can at least be improved a little bit, he's got top sixer talent.
We all silly like the mayor.